Hello and thanks for joining us. Speed, agility, scalability and predictable costs are key criteria for evolving the IT environment. They determine how to satisfy the growing requirements of customer experience, operational effectiveness and employee experience. These are frequently delivered with cloud, multi-cloud and hybrid IT. Yet an essential criterion is missing in that wish list, the issue of cyber security. Let me welcome Fujitsu's John Wilson to help us dig a bit deeper into the security issues that play a decisive role for cloud, multi-cloud and hybrid IT. Hello, John.
Hi there, thanks very much for having me.
A pleasure. Now, many organisations use cloud or multi-cloud with their existing IT infrastructures to transform, improve customer experience, increase operational effectiveness and improve the employee experience. What is or should be the role of cybersecurity in all of these initiatives?
Well, cloud really broadens the threat landscape, so it requires a much wider security perspective. So it's no longer about protecting a traditional legacy data center perimeter, and it's more now about how you protect users and employees as they access disparate cloud services from remote locations. So there's an increased focus now on enterprises to look at their responsibility and how they secure these various cloud services.
You talk about security responsibilities. What is different when it comes to cloud?
Well, one of the first things that companies need to be aware of is the shared responsibility model in cloud. And that model helps companies to map what their responsibilities are. In short, the cloud security provider, whether that's Microsoft or Amazon Web Services, they're responsible for the security of the cloud infrastructure. And then you as the customer or consumer of that cloud, you're responsible for the data or the digital assets that you place into that cloud. So there's more of a focus now moving away from a traditional security model, data center security model, where companies now need to consider securing data and assets across a heterogeneous cloud environment, where more of the focus is on user identity and data.
John, we often hear the term zero trust associated with cybersecurity. Is this of any importance here?
Yeah, zero trust, it's not a new security model, but it's become more in vogue recently in the last 18 months, particularly because of COVID and the rapid increase in companies using cloud services. With zero trust, breach is always assumed. Then they apply the principle of least privilege, where only the required amount of access is provided to users when they access a corporate network. And all access is verified. So essentially, everything becomes untrusted. So every user, every device that comes to access a corporate network becomes untrusted.
I understand that this refers to the user identity issue you mentioned. Can you give a brief overview about the challenges for data protection in increasingly heterogeneous IT landscapes?
Yeah, governance and compliance and broad IT landscapes, especially across different clouds, becomes challenging. Now, we all know of the benefits that cloud brings, but as companies consume more and more cloud services, governance and compliance becomes more challenging. In particular to data, data now resides beyond the corporate data center. It can reside in multiple clouds. So companies really need to understand how to secure their data at rest and on the move. So there's a real focus on understanding data flows and then how to protect those data flows and how to apply the most appropriate security controls in respect of a data's value and sensitivity.
What is it that you do to support customers that work with these proliferating IT landscapes?
Well, we provide a number of services to customers. We provide strategic and technical consulting services. We like to engage with customers very early on in their cloud journey to make sure that security is at the fore. So our strategic consultants will work with customers to understand their security compliance, They'll also look to understand what regulatory compliance that they need to comply with. And based on that, they can build a cloud security strategy for that customer. Once that cloud security strategy is known, we can then help to design an appropriate security architecture for customers. And then because we're a managed security service provider, we can then provide a managed security service overlay for those customers.
That's a comprehensive undertaking. Can you give a short recommendation on which issues to tackle and when?
Yes, certainly. Companies ask several questions around security when moving to cloud, and one of the main ones is how do we maintain compliance? And we can help companies maintain compliance in cloud using a cloud security posture management service. That service continually monitors a customer's cloud tenancy for non-compliance and can rectify it. The next question they generally ask is how can we move to cloud quickly and securely? And in Fujitsu, we've developed a methodology called Springboard, which essentially can deploy a cloud tenancy in an automated way using infrastructure as code. And that landing zone, which is deployed for a customer, is secure by default. And it includes all of the security guardrails that you would expect to see and is compliant against the main security standards for cloud. The next question that they have is, how do we make sure that we've used all the necessary security controls in cloud? And in Fujitsu, we have developed a cloud security framework, which covers the main cloud security domains and is focused around 4 key pillars, which are identity and access management, threat protection, data protection, and security management. And we use that framework to help to interpret the security requirements of customers. And the whole goal of that is to make sure that we apply the correct controls, whether they're cloud native or third party, and with the expected outcome that we provide security and depth for that customer to protect the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of that data in cloud. And the last question they ask is, how do we maintain security policy across a disparate cloud environment? And here we can use a cloud access security broker. And that helps to provide the visibility that companies need to understand the cloud services that are being used, and so that only assured, sanctioned cloud services are being used and can help to mitigate shadow IT challenges.
Thanks, John. It's been great to speak to you today. That's about all we have time for, but if you would like to know more about Fujitsu and how they can help build resilience in the cloud, please contact your account manager or contact us using the details on the screen. And you can also stay up to date by following us on our social channels. Thank you.